Hello, and welcome to this presentation on investigating how digital technology might support memory training for neurological patients. I will be your presenter, Kyle Guerrero-Cortese, and as an introduction, I have an undergraduate in psychology from the University of Wollongong and a master's in human-computer interaction from the University of Technology, Sydney. This work was completed with my supervisors, Elise Vandenhoven, who is a professor in human-computer interaction at the University of Technology, Sydney, and Laurie Miller, who worked at the Royal Prince Alfred Hospital as a neuropsychologist and one of the inventors of the Making the Most of Your Memory training program. The project I will be discussing today is based on this training program, which is a neuropsychological rehabilitation program aimed at helping stroke and epilepsy patients overcome prospective and anterograde memory deficits. The program runs for 6 weeks, consisting of weekly 2-hour sessions where patients learn a range of memory rehabilitation strategies, psychoeducation, and lifestyle choices that can improve memory function. Due to the recent pandemic, the program has been run online via telehealth, and this transition into an online delivery model has prompted new avenues for cognitive rehabilitation using human-computer interaction approaches. Therefore, the aim of the current project was to explore ways that technology could be used to support the Making the Most of Your Memory training program. This involved conducting semi-structured interviews with neuropsychologists who had experience running the program either in Sydney or Melbourne. Specifically, 12 neuropsychologists with experience running the program were recruited, 11 of which agreed to participate. Interviews were conducted with 10 of these participants, at which point saturation was reached. Saturation being the point at which no new meaningful data is gained from subsequent interviews. Furthermore, the interviews were conducted over Zoom and audio recorded so they could be later transcribed using auto-transcribing software. These interviews were then analysed using NVivo. Each of these 30 to 45-minute interviews consisted of 3 questions based on the neuropsychologist's experience, questions relating to the clinician's view of the program, and 3 more pertaining to improvements with a specific focus on technology. The questions related to clinicians' view of the program discuss the main goals, strengths, and weaknesses of the program, while questions about improvements focused on challenges of the program and how they might be overcome by incorporating technology. The analysis of these interviews involved a 6-stage thematic analysis approach, where the data is coded based on meaningful excerpts from participants. These codes are then used to explore more conceptual patterns known as themes, which help identify consistent overarching ideas found in the interviews. These themes are defined using an inductive, bottom-up approach, and to ensure reliability, a second coder is used to determine the level of agreement among the codes. Overall, 8 themes were produced. These themes were then subdivided into 2 primary domains. One focused on how the program is delivered and ways of supporting it, and another focused on ways to improve an individual's perceptual experience of the program. An intercoder reliability of 0.82 was reached using Cohen's kappa, indicating near-perfect agreement. I will now discuss findings from Domain 1, improving program delivery and support, and each theme that led to its conceptualization. The first theme is facilitating program success. This theme discusses factors that can be taken advantage of to support the program. For example, clinicians stated that while older cohorts often have difficulty using technology, patients are increasingly becoming more technologically literate. In fact, those who ran the telehealth version of the program were impressed at the ability for patients to use software such as Zoom. Furthermore, many clinicians highlighted the ample number of strategies and methods taught in the program, such as psychoeducation, pro-memory lifestyle choices, and memory strategies that all offer different paths to support the program. Theme 2 is supporting compensation strategies. This theme relates to ways that new tools can be developed to assist memory function outside the program. Here, clinicians discuss the motivation behind why patients wanted to improve their memory function and the importance of specific strategy types to help achieve this. For example, most patients are motivated to improve prospective memory so they do not forget appointments or tasks. To support patients with these issues, clinicians especially highlighted the importance of external strategies and the need for more effective alerts, alarms, and reminders. Furthermore, patients are motivated to improve anterograde memory to remember important events in their lives. Clinicians indicated that although support for anterograde memory can be provided through digital media, patients could benefit from tools to help find stored photos and videos once they've been saved. Theme 3 is improving the conception and utilization of strategies. This theme discusses ways that strategies are taught in the program and how to facilitate the most effective use of these strategies by patients. Specifically, clinicians stated that improved instructional techniques would help patients better learn strategies. For example, tutorials should aim to guide patients through specific step-by-step breakdowns of complex tasks. Some clinicians even suggested using physical teaching components to help deepen encoding. Interestingly, many clinicians envision that in the future, practical instruction could be enhanced using new and interesting technologies such as virtual reality. While practical instruction is important, most clinicians highlighted the need for new methods to teach skills in a way that maximizes ecological validity, so new skills are transferred from the lab to the patient's home. This is important because clinicians also indicated that finding ways of promoting patients to use skills in their own home can help them develop more consistency. In fact, consistency in using memory strategies was often cited as a measure of program success. Many clinicians suggested that this could be instilled by providing extra homework and booster sessions, but patients would need a way to track these improvements outside the lab. The last theme in this domain, Theme 4, is enhancing program content and delivery. This theme is concerned with directly upgrading the medium through which the program is delivered and ensuring the content is up to date. For example, many clinicians highlighted the need to keep the program up to date with all the latest apps and technology. However, due to inconsistency in user interfaces across devices, clinicians often report wanting apps that could be taught similarly to all patients. Unfortunately, many applications are complicated to use and not built with impaired populations in mind. Here, clinicians mention the benefit of developing simpler apps to help patients learn external strategies easier. Furthermore, many clinicians indicated that the best way to deliver the program would be to tailor the content to suit individual needs. Currently, clinicians try to match cohorts based on functional level to overcome this. Finally, several clinicians suggesting using pre-made instructional videos and virtual exercises to deliver the program to patients who have limited access to neuropsychologists. They indicated that the program might one day be automated using artificial intelligence, which would also allow for a more individualized experience. I will now present the findings from Domain 2, improving program experience, and each of the themes that underpin it. The first theme in this domain, Theme 5, is reducing barriers to participation and completion. This theme explores barriers that patients come up against when attempting to complete the training program. Clinicians varied in the types of barriers they reported for patients. For example, clinicians mentioned that some patients finding it difficult to attend sessions due to time constraints and availability, as they had families and other commitments to attend to, while others mentioned a lack of accessibility for some, perhaps because they did not live locally or did not have the ability to drive to the sessions themselves. Furthermore, clinicians may see a reluctance among patients to use external strategies like alarms because they felt like it meant giving in to their deficit, while other patients at times simply ignore or fail to attend to them due to their deficit. Additionally, clinicians often report that patients suffered from comorbid cognitive issues such as decreased attention and working memory, making it difficult for them to follow along with the program, while others experienced high levels of anxiety and stress which further affected their memory function. Interestingly, some patients have misconceptions about their abilities, thinking they do not need memory training in the first place. Theme 6 is improving motivation and engagement. Motivation to participate and engage with the program ultimately determines how successful the patients are in learning and applying the strategies to their lives. There were several factors mentioned that could facilitate this. For example, clinicians reported that developing greater levels of rapport with a patient increased their willingness to try new strategies. Furthermore, facilitating social interaction among patients also increased motivation and engagement. In fact, several clinicians mentioned that once patients had their morning tea break and a chance to meet one another, they would all come back more engaged. Clinicians often discussed how motivation and engagement could be bolstered by using goal-setting techniques at the start of the course. Additionally, finding ways to provide patients with positive reinforcement can help them realize their progress and become more motivated to keep improving. Interestingly, developing methods of providing feedback is also important for clinicians to track patient progress and intervene when needed. Theme 7 is developing interpersonal relationships. This theme discusses the positive effects of developing social relationships. In fact, many of the clinicians mentioned that having peer support was one of the most beneficial parts of the program. They often mention how before the program, most patients report feeling alone in their battle with memory loss. However, through social interaction and sharing experience with one another, clinicians reported that patients came away from the program feeling a sense of community, not to mention the fact that participants were able to share and teach each other unique strategies they use in their own lives to overcome memory loss. Finally, we have our last theme, number 8, which is improving self-efficacy and confidence. Unfortunately, many patients have anxiety about their memory issues and lack self-efficacy. However, clinicians reported seeing patient self-confidence return throughout the course of the program. Learning new memory strategies to overcome their deficits help patients feel more empowered, and some clinicians even discussed how they saw patients gain a new sense of self-worth and identity through learning these new skills. To conclude, insights provided by the results suggest multiple approaches to improve memory training by using technology. Some of these approaches include aiding patients in applying memory strategies through electronic prompts and practice activities, supporting the ecological transference of strategies from the clinic to the patient's home, tailoring the program to suit individual needs, perhaps using AI, providing ways for clinicians to give tutorials using an interactive digital interface, developing completely new memory compensation tools, reducing barriers to participation, facilitating goal setting, feedback, and positive reinforcement, and using digital means to promote social interaction and peer support. In light of these findings, my team and I are currently developing an interactive telehealth application to deliver the Making the Most of Your Memory training program. Many of the insights we're using to develop this application are based on findings from this study and further findings based on additional interviews with clinicians performed during iteration cycles and user testing of the product. If you would like to contact me regarding this, feel free to email me. Finally, thank you for attending my presentation on investigating how digital technology might support memory training for neurological patients.